If you're not a U.S. citizen, you should not leave the United States. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. I'm shooting this video in mid-March 2025, and I'm here to tell you that we've been seeing stories left and right of people who have valid immigration status not being allowed back into the United States. And it's sort of scary. We saw just this last week a green card holder get deported, a lady who had a pending green card case who flew back from Puerto Rico get deported. We saw the actress from Canada who had the TN visa, went to the border to get a visa renewal and was not only denied her visa, but she was also taken into custody and detained for 10 days around the southern border before she was sent back to Canada. So these are unusual times that we are in. These are the frontal attacks by Customs and Border Protection on immigrants at the border that we're going to see more and more of, and we're getting more and more news stories of. Now, historically, there have always been people who get refused at the border, right? But what we're seeing is the legal immigrants having their rights taken away, being detained, being forced to try to waive those rights, and being asked to surrender their green cards at the border. So if you are a green card holder, if you are an H-1B visa holder, if you are a student and you are in the United States, anybody who is not a U.S. citizen should not leave the United States. We're giving it until the end of the year, until we can see how litigation impacts this, how changes in things that happen at the border. We're going to keep track of what's going on a sort of a case-by-case basis. But at the end of the day, no one can guarantee that you will be allowed back into the United States if you are a green card holder or if you are a visa holder. There's no right, as Marco Rubio famously said last week, to a visa in the United States, and there's certainly no right to enter the United States. And nowhere does the president have more authority, that the executive branch has the power in regulating who comes into the United States. That is their supreme power. That's one of the strongest things he has. That's the basis of the prior Muslim bans, the travel ban that's coming. The president and the executive branch have a ton of discretion as to who they let into the United States and what they make you do to get into the United States. So what this means is, as always, let's say there's a small chance of you not being allowed back into the United States. What we're telling people is, if you're not a U.S. citizen, if you can't afford to be stuck outside the United States for 6, 9, or 12 months or longer, then you should not leave the United States. There's an invisible wall coming up around the United States, and you may view it as a jail if you're stuck here in the United States. But people call me all the time, Jim, can I go for visa stamping? Jim, I have advanced parole. Jim, I have a refugee travel document. Jim, I have a reentry permit. Is it okay for me to leave the United States? What I am telling people as an immigration lawyer who's been practicing law for 25 years and immigration since 2008, that unless you can afford to get stuck outside of here, you should not leave the United States unless you're a U.S. citizen. You make your own decision. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that no one can guarantee that you're going to be allowed back into the United States if you leave, unless you're a U.S. citizen. And I believe even U.S. citizens are going to start getting more scrutiny. If I travel overseas, I'm not bringing my phone with me. There's all kinds of things that are going on at the border right now. You really need to be careful. You really need to be worried. And I'm not trying to scare people. Really, I'm not. I'm trying to educate people so that you make a good decision and hopefully decide not to leave the United States until you get your citizenship. I know it's mind-boggling, but that's all I can really say. If you have a case that you want to file with USCIS or the State Department and you need our help, give us a call, 314-961-8200, or email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you're just looking for free resources, we have a ton of them. I believe more than any other immigration attorney on the planet. You can follow us on TikTok @Immigration Hacking. We're up to 165,000 followers. You can join our Facebook group. We have 15,000 immigrants and people who love them in our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. You can join us there. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. We post 3 new videos every week. We also put YouTube Shorts up there, and I also go live 3 or 4 times a week talking about immigration questions and answers. People come and ask me whatever they want, and I answer the question, and off we go. So we'd love to have you join us. You can follow us on any of those social media platforms. We'd love to help you, and we'll see you on the next video.